The opportunity to answer questions again when on the stand was part of a double-edged sword that I had tempered for her. Because the other series of questions that she answered under oath was whether or not she did dye her hair, which she admitted yes, she did. It basically was an opportunity to showcase her lies. Now, let me talk about the charge of murder. I am nearing the end, and I do appreciate everything that you all pay attention. I've tried to be as quick as possible, but at the same time, respecting my obligation and my oath as an officer of this court to perform my constitutional duties to that end. With regard to the charge of murder, in your instructions, I would believe that you will find that there are so many reasonable doubts to believe that he committed this crime that you will find him guilty. Not guilty of the murder committed by Miss Wallace. Not guilty of manslaughter. Not guilty of reckless homicide. And that is my wish, is that you find him not guilty of those crimes which he did not commit. And I told you that what Miss Wallace did was to ask Anthony to help bury the child. To also have him to take the blame, which he did for quite some time. Now you're going to be asked in your jury instructions as to whether or not he's guilty of tampering with physical evidence. Well, I will submit that with regard to those instructions, if you look at the second part of that instruction, it says that he did so in order to hide or conceal the child from the authorities. I submit to you that he did not intend to hide the child from the authorities, but he intended on giving the child a burial with the mother. The intent was not to hide her from the authorities. Now that may have ended up being a consequence, but his intent was to help bury the child. We know that the child was wrapped up by its mother. We know that the coffin was an old safe that you can pick up and examine for yourself. Now, abuse of a corpse. I would submit to you that there was no abuse of a corpse, because there was just totally the opposite. It was care for a corpse. With mother standing by, Anthony helping. The child was gently placed into the safe. The door was put on the safe. And I don't know how they wrapped all the straps around it to make it happen, to keep that door on. But that's not my burden. I do know what he has told me and what he's told you from the witness stand. That the child was lowered into the well, which became her grave. At the bottom of the well, she rested. You heard testimony that Kelsey poked the safe one down. And then rocks were thrown on top. Now there was no dirt available. I asked whether or not there were any dirt piles around the well. There were not. So the only way you could give this child a proper burial was to bring parts of the well in on top to cover it up. To give that child a proper burial. Now they're going to ask you, the Commonwealth is going to ask you to find him guilty of abuse of a corpse. But I submit to you that he cared for that corpse in the manner in which the two of them placed the child in the well. There was care for that. And it mentions ordinary family sensibilities. Well, if it was the mother who was directing the child to be buried, and indeed the mother was present when the child was put in the well, it's very difficult to say that it was offensive to the family sensibilities. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very close to the end. First, though, I would like to thank all the officers, the court security, Duff, Walbert, Pettigo, all of them have been phenomenal. These gentlemen, like most police officers, are guided by principle, not pride. Guided by love, not hate. Guided by compassion, not passion. Guided by an open mind, not a closed one. Guided by the truth, not a mere conviction. There's the individual responsible. What happened was a series of events that basically was an attempt to convict him without sufficient evidence. No scientific evidence was still having committed the And I will end with this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm reminded of what Atticus Finch tells members of the jury in To Kill a Mockingbird. That yours is a heavy responsibility. Your responsibility in arriving at an answer to this question is important. Guard it. Protect it. Many men have died, and the hills of Arlington are sprinkled with people of honor who have fought for this very right for us to have. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with that, I want to thank you to the members of this jury. I want to thank everyone, court personnel. I want to thank the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for your time. Detective Morgan, Merry Christmas, sir.